really expect to make an impact for us this season. We've already seen flashes of what they can do for us, but I expect all of you to go out there and execute just like we did in camp. Ain't no more excuses. It's time to get serious. If we play our brand of basketball, there's no telling where this team can go. So get out there, get warm, and let's go win this game.
Here we go, our first NBA game. This is something I've been waiting for my entire life. And to be honest, I'm a little bit nervous. But I know this is where I belong. So I just gotta get out there and do what I was born to do. I hope I can make my family proud.
We've got an electric crowd here at Toronto's Air Canada Centre. Welcome, everyone, to a brand new season of NBA basketball. I'm sure you're as excited as all of us are here at 2K Sports as we get ready to start the season in style. For the Raptors, Biombo, he's checked in for Jonas Valanciunas. Johnson comes in for Luis Scola. Terrence Ross is checked in for DeMar Carroll, and it's Joseph in for DeMar DeRozan. And what a big moment here. We get a glimpse coming off the bench of the first official NBA appearance from Swift.
You know, he's a great young player and even a better young man. So personally, I couldn't be happier for him. I know he's thinking about the game, but I hope he's able to take a moment to just enjoy this accomplishment.
Well said, and I hope so too. I mean, as a player, you want to stay even-keeled, but it's almost impossible. I mean, there's just so much that you've gone through to reach this point. It has to be emotional.
And so in the game for the Pacers, Swift in at point guard. Mahinmi is out there with Hill. Then there's Rodney Stuckey, and it's Miles in at the small forward position. And the basket by Hill.
How about the start that they've gotten off to here? Huge lead, and we're still in the first quarter.
And guys, it hasn't just been the scoring. I mean, they're playing tremendous defense too.
Joseph with the ball. Quiet so far offensively, searching for his first points of the game.
You know, they've scored several times already here in the first quarter down low. I like that.
It's like a running game in football. When you can pound the basketball inside, it also allows you to control the team's transition.
And what a feeling it's got to be for this young player as that last bucket represents the first official score in the NBA from Swift.
You know, you got to be happy for him. I mean, that's a great way to open up his NBA scoring account.
Well, everybody is happy to see him put the first points of his career on the board. Coaches, fans, teammates, everybody.
In the corner, Stuckey with it. And here's Freak. Out to the right wing. From deep, Miles. And that is good. Miles has got himself on the board with 3 there.
It's like raining buckets right now. I wonder if this is the early stages of a blowout.
Well, we've got to be careful. Don't want to get ahead of ourselves just yet. But it has been pretty ugly so far. No doubt about that.
Earlier, we sat down with Freak and asked him about playing in his first NBA game.
You know, I've thought about this moment my entire life. Now that it's finally here, the feeling's pretty crazy. But I know it's just the beginning. I got a lot of hard work ahead of me to get to where I want to go, to be the best player and the best teammate I could be. But this is an exciting first step, no doubt.
You know, Clark, you don't see that kind of perspective for most rookies, do you?
You really don't, Kevin. I mean, I really like his ability.
New group in now for the Raptors. Biombo is checked in for Jonas Valanciunas. Johnson comes in for Luis Scola. Ross, he's checked in for Damari Carroll, and it's Kyle Lowry in for Joseph. And so in the game for the Pacers, Swift, he's in at point guard. C.J. Miles is out there with Hill. Then there's Ian Mahimi. And it's Stuckey in at the 2-guard spot. 2 on the clock. Miles. Here's Swift. And there's the whistle. Fouled hard on the shot. He'll go to the line. Kyle Lowry picks one up there.
And with the offense getting right to the rim, at least they saved the layup.
Old school D right there. Just telling them no easy layups. It's as simple as that. And that's what you expect from them.
Well, the Pacers, despite all their injuries from last season, were right in the playoff hunt until the very end. Had a chance, in fact, GA, on the last day to sneak in, but it didn't happen.
Yeah, they needed a Brooklyn loss to go along with them winning that last game. Ultimately, though, it wasn't in the cards for them, and they ended a game out of the postseason.
Ross, that's good.
Still trailing, but their offense is off life support here in the second quarter. It's got a pulse.
Good point, Clark. They're starting to make some shots, looking to try and get back in this one.
Hill kicks to Freak. And he gets it to go. Well, with Freak, Clark, there was a question whether he would stay another year in college. Really was a tough decision for him, but he ended up coming out after his freshman year.
And, Kevin, it's really hard to blame a guy like Freak for doing that. I mean, he's clearly NBA ready, and he's putting a lot at risk for every year he stays in school, and he could be on the NBA clock.
That's in, and the Pacer lead is cut down to 5 on the bucket from DeRozan.
And really, the scoring this quarter has been just off the charts, doing all he can to bring them back.
And a wide-open look for Freak. And the Pacers another 3. And here we see the debut of Freak, the kid from Harlem. His first time on an NBA floor. And Clark, it's a moment that he's worked very hard to achieve, and his family has got to be proud.
Extremely so, Kevin. It's been a long journey for him, but every level along the way, he's found success. High school phenom, playing for a college championship. I wouldn't bet against this kid on anything when it comes to basketball.
In the corner, Miles with it. And the Pacers another 3.
Superb assist there. He played the role of the maestro on that one.
Here's DeRozan. The clock runs out, and we're heading to halftime. Indiana out in front, up 11. We'll be back shortly live from the Air Canada Center in downtown Toronto. Welcome back, everyone, to the start of the second half. Big margin on our hands, but we'll see if that gap narrows down in the third and fourth quarters. A new group in now for the Raptors. Biyombo is checked in for Jonas Valanciunas. Johnson comes in for Luis Scola. Ross is checked in for Damari Carroll. And Corey Joseph subbed in for DeMar DeRozan. They've got Corey Joseph. James Johnson is out there with Bismack Biyombo. Then it's Terrence Ross, and it's Lowry in at the 1 spot. So that's the 5 in the game for Toronto. Well, for Jordan Hill, something wonderful happened to him last season. The breakthrough he'd been waiting for on his 6th year.
Yeah, Kevin, you know, it had to do, and I think correlated with him getting a chance to start games, and it blew up for him from there. Posted career-high averages across the board.
And a few more points tacked on to their lead in the cruelest way possible.
You're right. Yeah, those putback jams sting, don't they? My goodness.
Yeah, they really hurt you. I mean, the defense forces a miss and then can't rebound it and finish off the defense. They're hanging their heads in their chest now.
Side out. And getting back to Jordan Hill, everyone had been waiting for this. I mean, greater activity.
Toronto. Jonas Valanciunas, he's checked in for Biyombo. Scola comes in for Johnson. And it's DeRozan in for Kyle Lowry. Indiana also making some changes. Solomon Hill comes in for Mahimi. And Freak subbed in for Ellis. On the court for Indiana, Swift, he's in at the point. Solomon Hill is out there with C.J. Miles. Then there's Rodney Stuckey, and it's Hill in at the pivot spot, manning the middle.
On the topic of Jordan Hill, hey, there aren't many guys like him with his size who can move that well. He's entering the prime of his career right now. Will he continue to ascend, or will he be content with where he's at? Time will tell.
And so he draws the foul on the shot on trip to the line to shoot two.
And you know, the new court projection visuals, all the rage in the NBA now. Instead of having to use a screen over the court, they just project video and images straight onto the court. I think before long, you'll see it everywhere.
And the Raptors making a change here. Johnson's checked in. Mahinmi's checked in for the Pacers.
Well, guys, this was never really a contest, just a total obliteration, if you will. You can safely say mission accomplished now for the Pacers.
Agreed, Steve, and as one-sided as it gets today, you know, Clark, there were some dominant moments in about every facet of this game for that team.
You're right, Kevin. It's hard to think of anything that didn't go right for them. I mean, game planning by the coaches, execution by the players, everything was spot on.
And it'll go down as their first official win of the new year.
And, guys, when you're cracking heads against somebody 4 times over the course of a season, boy, it's a great feeling to snatch that first game. Good adjustments tonight against the Raptors.
And when you look back at this one, what an amazing performance this was for Paul George. He affected the game so much with the way he was able to come out and get steals and extra possessions for his team.
Freak dishes to Mahinmi. Soft touch off the glass.
Well, if it wasn't out of reach, it is now, thanks to that last little spurt.
And why put the brakes on now? I just say keep on letting it fly.
Here's Joseph. So no problem for Indiana as they get the win. This one was over well before the final buzzer. The fans were waiting for something to get excited about, Greg, but they never got it.
They sure didn't. I mean, they just rolled to this win. They made it look really easy. What an...
The 2K Sports post-game show.
Hey y'all, Ernie Johnson here along with Kenny Smith and Shaquille O'Neal. Paul George, no matter what they threw at him during the second half, it seemed like he had the answer and was able to find all the shots. And that's it for our broadcast here tonight, but we're just getting started on a new season in the NBA. For Shaquille O'Neal, Kenny the Jet Smith, Kevin Harlan, and the entire 2K Sports crew, I'm Ernie Johnson. We'll see you again soon.
LeBron James. What more can you say about the guy that hasn't already been said? He can play anywhere on the court, and he gets it done on both ends like nobody else in the league. If we can't slow him down, this game could get out of hand real quick. It's going to be one of the biggest tests of the season for me, that's for sure. Time to step up.
It's game time in Cleveland as the crowd is filling up the Quicken Loans Arena. Looking at the last game for the Cleveland Cavaliers, it was a loss to Philadelphia. And that's one they'd like to have back. A little more focus would have been enough. Just a 4-point loss.
And that was a shocker. Hard to believe that they dropped the ball, so to speak, on that one. And probably a tough pill for them to swallow.
And to lose it like they did, too. Wow, right at the end, man, makes it even tougher to take.
And it's the Cavaliers to start out. Mozgov, he's checked in for Thompson. Smith comes in for James. And it's Matthew Dellavedova in for Shumpert. The Pacers also changing it up. Hill, he's checked in for Mahinmi. Turner comes in for Allen. And Freak subbed in for Hill. On the court right now for the Pacers. Swift in a 2-guard. Hill is out there with Turner. Then there's Ellis. And it's George in at the 3 slot.
And he came off that screen, and the D just didn't get over the top of it.
Yep, weren't there in time enough to challenge Greg, and when that's the case, you can mark those up for him.
And here's Freak following the 3-pointer by Kyrie Irving. And the pass to Swift. 5 on the clock. Irving drives in. And that misses. That would have put him up.
And right from the start, Kevin, they've been pounding the glass. Most of those 50-50 balls also going their way.
Well, I don't think there's any question about it. They came focused and ready to play. I mean, they're doing everything they can to put things in their favor. You earn that, and they're actually earning it well right now.
First off, look, every year there are all-star game snubs, and perhaps last year Monte Ellis was the big one in the West. Hard to leave him off given the way he played for the Mavs.
Hill. The shot, no good. And Cleveland will come the other way. Love with the screen on Ellis. Here's Irving, and he connects on the jumper. The screen did the trick. Irving's got 5 points so far.
Very well executed pick to give him all kinds of space to get that one off.
Pick up by Hill. Freak kicks to Turner. George against Smith, and it's going to be a 3-second call. Channing Frye's checked in for Kevin Love. The Pacers also with a sub. C.J. Miles, he's checked in for George. Irving passes to Frye. Picked by Mozgov. Dellavedova kicks to Mozgov. That drops, and it comes off an assist from Dellavedova.
You know, they've scored several times already here in the first quarter down low. I like that.
It's like a running game in football. When you can pound the basketball inside, it also allows you to control the team's transition.
Superb playmaking from Monte Ellis. That dish was right on time.
Dellavedova kicks to Irving. Ellis with some nice D.
You're not going to see that very often. Plenty of space, but he just, let's face it, he whiffs on that.
It's a tie game here in Cleveland. We caught up with Kyrie Irving earlier, and he talked a little bit about expectations for himself and his teammates. Kyrie reminding us that it's not just the expectations of the fans and the media, he and LeBron deal with, but also, and Clark, perhaps the most demanding of all are the expectations they've got for each other.
Yeah, that's a great point. I mean, two guys who expect so much of themselves to start with, who naturally have a vision of how great the other guy should be. I mean, they're constantly trying to manage expectations while still demanding the best from each other. And that's a lot of fun to watch.
Neither team able to build much of a lead up to this point as we start the second quarter. And taking a look at the Cavaliers' performance here, what do you guys see?
Well, they've dictated tempo with their defense and been able to force some turnovers.
Yeah, and, you know, they've also done a good job, Greg, on their end of the floor by not throwing the ball away.
On the court for the Pacers as our second quarter gets underway. Hill and Stuckey are the guard set. C.J. Miles is out there with Turner. And it's Mahimi in at the pivot spot, manning the middle. And Doris Burke has something for us. Hey, Doris.
Well, Kev, Freak in the last matchup against the Heat delivered quite a performance. He picked up 16 points, and there weren't too many shots that didn't fall for him. Really efficient night from the field. Overall, just an incredible bonus for his team as he made a big impact coming off the bench.
All right, thanks, Doris. He's got a lot of positives to take away from that game.
He really does. It was one of his better performances, and that's saying something because we've seen this guy have a lot of good ones.
And you'd have to imagine that he'll be out to build on it, to go one better here tonight.
Stuckey can't get it to go.
He's got to be disappointed with himself on that one. He has got to knock those down.
You know, for the Pacers last season, with Paul George being out for most of the season, they knew it would be a struggle. They would go into lengthy dry spells that made it hard for them to keep pace in the East, in part because they missed Paul George's all-around brilliance and his offense.
And the basket by Hill.
I'm not sure who was supposed to pick him up, but somebody's going to get an earful from the coach for leaving him that wide open.
James dishes to Fry. And Turner with the block. And now Stuckey running the floor all by himself.
They are not rotating nearly quickly enough on defense down low. Got to get quicker there.
Just no resistance on the interior.
As for those dry spells you mentioned about the Pacers, GA, they had a number of long losing streaks last season.
Yeah, as a team, they had 4 different losing streaks of 6 or more games, and they got hot at the end. Season-high win streak of 6 to stay playoff relevant. It was just too little, too late compared to their losing streaks earlier in the year.
Here's Shumpert following the basket by Rodney Stuckey. Kicks it out to James. Will it go? It's rebounded by Indiana. Mahimi's got 4 rebounds in this game. Stuckey into the lane. Thompson against Hill. He kicks to Turner. And James pulls it down. The Cavaliers trail by 7. There's a screen.
That's the ball.
Second chance shot. And 2 free throws coming up as he misses that one. Drawing the whistle and a lot of contact there. It's going to be on Miles Turner.
Yeah, good job to take it right at the D.
Yeah, really left him no choice there, Greg. I mean, he had to foul and keep him from converting the easy bucket.
Okay, gentlemen, 2 shots. 2 shots.
And the first one goes.
Glass.
No good on the second, so he hits 1 of 2. Greg, you were talking about Tristan Thompson. LeBron came out and said he's one of the best pick-and-roll defenders in the NBA, and Clark gets high praise from the King.
No doubt. I mean, Thompson is an emerging force. If he could just develop his shooting stroke a little more, then you're talking about a very, very valuable player.
Good point. Smith with a wide open look. A three-pointer is right on target. Smith's got himself on the board with 3 there.
How can you forget about him? I mean, he's not going to miss that open of a look.
Kicks it out to Ellis. They set the pick. Loses the defender with the screen and drills the jumper. Ellis has got 9.
That was an outstanding pick that gave him the room to bury the jump shot. Underrated, but not undervalued.
Irving drives in. Now the feed to Love. That's good. Love's got his second bucket.
And really just unselfish basketball on the interior. That's the kind of pass a coach loves to see.
Swift the pass to Hill. And lots of contact there. Missing the shot. He'll shoot 2.
How about a look at the Pacers and where they ranked in the NBA last season? 3rd in opponent field goal percentage, 4th in opponent points per game, and they also showed up in the top 5 in team rebound. That means everybody's doing their job on the board. This is a very strong rebounding team.
And you mentioned their ranking in terms of opponent field goal percentage. Such an important stat. They did not give up the easy looks. You really had to work for whatever you got.
And the Cavaliers making a change here. Mozgov's checked in. And that one's good. George has got the lead up to 8 now for the Pacers.
You know what? He wasn't going to wait around for any help on that break.
Solo soiree performance all the way. How about that for a little bit of a limerick?
I'm going to let it slide.
They've done well at taking advantage of some late defensive rotations and getting the ball into the paint.
Clearly, they've been the aggressors thus far when it comes to attacking the interior in this first half.
Now here's Ellis. 14 points from him the last game against Miami.
And also his assist total tells you about the job he did of keeping his head up and keeping his teammates involved.
The Pacers shooting their 7th and 8th free throw attempts for the game right here.
Shooting 2. Shooting 2.
Free throw, good. Allen. Cavs were poised to make a huge run last year in the playoffs. Swept the Celtics in the first round, but it cost them.
Yeah, and even though they did get that sweep, they lose Kevin Love for the rest of the way, and that put a big hurdle in their quest for the title.
Now here's Irving. 8 points for him. That's good, and it's his 4th basket of the game. He's a strong 4 for 6.
Really, really good at recognizing the gaps and getting the ball to the rim.
Right at the free throw line. Pulled the shot a little left, but the bounce goes his way. And that's 11 points for Ellis.
And when they've gone to him, he has come through big time. You got to keep getting him touches.
LeBron right side. That misses. Would have counted had it gone in. And we finished one half of basketball. Pacers lead by 7. And now we'll send it down to Doris Burke, who's standing by courtside.
Kevin, thank you. Here with Frank Vogel. And, Coach, you've got to be pleased with that first half. The ball was moving. Your guys were sharing. Things were going well for you. What about it pleased you?
Yeah, the game is simple when you make the extra pass, when you play the right way.
And the second half about to start here in just a few moments. Checked in for the Cavaliers. Matthew Dellavedova comes in for LeBron. So an entirely new group in now for Indiana. Turner's checked in for Mahinmi. C.J. Miles comes in for Lavoy Allen. Rodney Stuckey's checked in for Monte Ellis. And Freak subbed in for George Hill. Amon Shumpert is out there with Channing Frye. Then it's Matthew Dellavedova. Then there's Tristan Thompson, and it's Irving in at the 1 spot. That's the 5 for Cleveland right now. Here's Stuckey, following the basket by Kyrie Irving. And the shot is good from Stuckey. Stuckey's got 4 points now in the quarter. The Cavaliers trail by 9.
And Rodney Stuckey, a combo guard out of Eastern Washington, played a big role for the Pacers a season ago.
Now here's Shumpert, 5 points in the game. To the inside, and Thompson kicks to Irving. And the 3 off target.
And they hold a huge advantage on the backboards.
Greg, and that's been the key to this lead. I mean, they've really dominated the glass.
And that one's good. Freak. Greg, you were talking about Stuckey. He did play well in his first year with the Pacers. Clarkie helped him as a starter and off the bench.
Yeah, really had his most efficient year scoring the ball to date. And more than his scoring and what he brought on the court, his presence in the locker room and professionalism. You talk to the people around the Pacers, he was a breath of fresh air on a team that has a number of fresh air guys.
And that's how the coach would draw it up on the fast break from start to finish.
Yeah, and what a finish it was, guys. Really nicely done.
George, and a foul on the shot. He'll go to the stripe for 2. It's going to go on Tristan Thompson.
You know, and Paul George played the first few years of his career in the NBA with 24 on his back. And as you can see, he now goes with 13 after making the switch prior to last year.
Catching up on the changes for Cleveland. Mozgov comes in for Channing Frye. And J.R. Smith's subbed in for Shumpert. In Indiana with a change here, too. Hill's checked in. Count it, and the Pacer lead has been cut down now to just 8 points with the basket from Smith.
You know, the defense has got to do a much better job of fighting over those screens.
And, Greg, especially when the ball is in his hands. I mean, come on now. You know he doesn't miss too many open looks like that.
And the whistle blows as the basket counts, and a 3-point play chance right here. One free throw coming up. And with Paul George going at the number 13 now, as you can see, helps with his nickname, PG-13.
Yeah, that's a good nickname, a nice fit. Young Tracy, as he likes to go by on Twitter, he said himself that it was about embracing his stature and stardom in the league. Nice way to do it. Great assist that time by Kyrie Irving.
Yeah, real nice shot selection there. I guess he's working on his buzzer beater form.
That's a reach, but perhaps that is the case. Or maybe he was trying to knock a bird off of the scoreboard.
He's about right. Because I still can't figure that one out.
No, I see no birds up there.
No.
And he drops in the layup off the glass. Irving's got 6 in the quarter.
Yeah, one of the few bright spots for his team. I mean, he's had a very efficient offensive performance.
No telling how much larger the lead would be if it wasn't for his shooting. I mean, come on, this guy's kept him in it.
And the final period of play just about to start. Shumpert is checked in for Cleveland. Turner's checked in for Indiana. Freak comes in for Monte Ellis. On the court for Indiana, Swift in at shooting guard. Allen is out there with Turner. Then it's Paul George, and it's Hill in at the point guard position. Indiana needs to get a shot off. Tries to hit him, and the rejection by Smith. And they'll turn it over. Could not get off the shot. 24-second violation. The Cavaliers making a switch here. Thompson's checked in. Doris Burke has some information for us. Doris?
Thank you, Kevin. I got a chance to hear what the Cavaliers head coach was saying to his team. The message, stick with it. He said the game is right there, fellas, right there for the taking. But we've got to play with purpose and precision. Kevin, can they get it done?
And as always, Doris, thank you.
It has not been an easy quarter for him, at least offensively speaking.
Allen kicks to Freak. He tries for 3, and he gets it to go. And the Pacers lead by 4. And 1:01 left to play here in the fourth. The drive by Shumpert. The offensive rebound. Love outside. Off the mark there with the three-point shot.
It's been a real difficult game for him offensively, and it's costly.
George dishes to Freak. Offensive rebound, Pacers.
Man, that is a missed opportunity right there.
And he'll be the first to tell you, Greg, that's one he should have knocked down.
And now we've got the intentional foul. So the first one drops, and that puts them up by 5. Second one is good. Hitting both at the line, and it's a 6-point ball game.
And he just garnered a little bit more insurance there. Very confident as he's able to go up and knock those down.
Ladies and gentlemen, your Cavalier girls.
We've got 28 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Sinks it. And now they trail by just 4.
Man, can you always depend on him or what to lead you to the right place with that pass? Money.
He drops the first one, and that puts them up by 5. And he hits both free throws here. So now it's a 6-point ball game.